Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Shannon with Hero Arts, and this is the March Spotlight. We're going to go over everything that came out in this recent release. I'm going to pop over to the comments here. Hello everyone, hello Vicki. Today we're going to not only look at the kit, but all the add-ons too. Hi! I'm just gonna give a little time here for people to load into the chat. And actually I can hear my husband coming in the door right now, so pardon the little extra noise. Hello, Vicki. Hello, Carol, Cindy, Dana, Serena. Hope I'm saying that right. It is a wonderful release, isn't it? I love this one. I have some great cards to share with you from the creative team. I even have some of Jennifer's cards here and some of my cards. I was able to make a card with basically actually everything from this release, so I'm excited to share those with you as well. And if you haven't checked out the blog hop already, definitely go check that out. That is, there's a giveaway over there that's still ongoing. So head over to Hero Arts blog after this live, and then you can pop through all the inspiration that was shared, and definitely leave some comments along the way so you can possibly win one of the gift certificate that's being given away. Okay, I'm gonna go change over to my other camera so we can get started at looking at all of the new products. Yes, Heroescapes are so good, aren't they? So fun. They're such, you get such a like a feeling of accomplishment when you use them. They come together. Hello, Karen. They come together so nicely. Let me change over to my other camera. All right. I muted it here, so hopefully you hear me. So here is the premium kit. Let's open it up and check out everything inside. I'll start with everything that's included in the classic kit, which of course is also included in the premium kit. But first we'll take a look at the backer card, because I think not only is it beautiful, but does a great job of kind of letting you know what's in the kit and how it's separated. And look at these beautiful cards that Jennifer created. So beautiful. So obviously kind of an Asian theme. We'll flip it over. And we have the classic kit contents versus a 6x8 clear stamp set. So let's pull that out. And that's kind of what Cindy was saying. It's like a Heroescape set. Let's pull it out. It's really beautiful. And you know what? I forgot to grab a piece of white cardstock. Let me grab some cardstock real quick because it's kind of hard to see the stamp sets without something underneath. There we go. There we go. Look at that beautiful set. So it's you have like these two stamps are the layering kind of stamps in this set, but everything else is kind of standalone. The water is one layer, but this would be your base layer for your mountains and then your detail layer for the mountains. And then you have a bunch of additional images to kind of add to your scene. You have a sun or a moon, a reflection that you can add to the water. You also have a couple boats. I love this bamboo branch right here. Some cattails, a gate, as well as a dragonfly. Then there's some ducks. Let's see if I can hold them up. They're so cute. There's like a mama duck and a little duckling. I love that. And then a beautiful crane. I use that kind of on the focal point of one of my cards. Just make sure we're all still going here. I think we're good. All right, great. Thanks, Gail. Everything was kind of stagnant, so I was like, oh, I hope everything's still working. Okay, and then the sentiments. I have to hold it both ways, but I love them. They are this beautiful kind of font, very kind of scripty, almost like a handwritten font. You have enjoy the journey. This says calm, thank you, smooth sailing, peace of mind, and you've got wishing you. So you could add that to the peace of mind or smooth sailing or even calm. Really, really great. Such a great release, right? I love it. And this stamp set is so pretty. And the cards that the design team made are so, so gorgeous. And I have a bunch to share with you. Let's get through, though, everything in the classic kit before we start looking at some of the cards. So the next thing is this. There are 17 coordinating frame cuts. They coordinate with this 6x8 stamp set. Let's pull those out. So here are all of those coordinating frame cuts. You have a large one here that actually cuts out that mountain range. And then the rest are either for the images, like the dragonfly, this is the bamboo, a boat, the gate, the sun. That's a good one. Very handy to have a die for the sun. But there's also dies for all the sentiments. There's our calm, wishing you, thank you, and our other sentiments as well. So really awesome that there's coordinating dies for the sentiments. I always love that. It makes it so much easier to create your card because you don't have to worry about making the background light or something for stamping that sentiment later. It's so helpful. So there we go. Those are the frame cuts, the 17 frame cuts. In addition to those dies, there's actually a cover plate die. And this one is my favorite, I think, out of both the classic and the premium kits. It's this wonderful die here. It is a window die, so it actually cuts out this kind of circular design, and you can use it in the center or you can use it on its own. You don't have to have that circular cutout at all. You can use this cover plate. I don't know if you can see, it has like texture on it. It's this beautiful, subtle, almost like a geometric kind of texture, very linear. Probably more linear, I guess, than geometric. Almost like a Tetris. Kind of reminds me of Tetris. Look, and it's not completely to the edge. I love that. It kind of is broken, which is really pretty. It's just more interesting that way. And then this circle here with that, a lot of those like Tetris-like shapes, that'll actually cut out. So we have this beautiful kind of a lace, almost like a lattice background. Really, really pretty. I love this cover plate die. It's so gorgeous. And that's included in the classic kit, which I think is like, wow, such a big bang for your buck. And then you also have these wonderful rub-on transfers. And if you haven't played with the Hero Arts transfers, I really encourage you to give them a try. They're so, let's open it up out of the plastic so you can see that a little bit better. They're so beautiful and they transfer so well. I even used some on my card. Let's pull this out. They're in there tightly. So some beautiful writing or characters. Love that. You even have this like symbol here. Some of it's red, which is really nice to break it up a little bit. So really pretty. And you get 2 of those. There's actually 2 sheets in the kit, which is one sheet of transfers can really go far. And then the last thing is 3 ink cubes, Cherry, Periwinkle, and Deep Ocean. Which you see here, really pretty palette that works really nicely with that hero. Well, it's not technically a Heroscape, but it is like a Heroscape. This like Heroscape like 6x8 stamp set. So really, really pretty. I love the transfers. They're so fun. I'm really just starting to get into them. I know transfers were big in the scrapbooking, paper crafting community a while ago, and I never really got into them then. But I am loving playing with them now, and I'm kind of coming up with learning some new techniques with them, and I am having so much fun. There's a lot of things you can do with them. I think that's something that people take for granted are those transfers, because at first it just seems like, oh, you just transfer, you just put something onto your card, almost like a sticker, but there's so much more you can do with them. So there's a lot of fun. Plus those are just beautiful. Next up is what's in addition to all that you see here in the classic kit. So these are the additional items that were included if you get the premium kit. So let's pull out that little pack. And here we go. So first is this 4x6 clear stamp set. It's obviously got a cherry blossom theme. Let's put it on the white cardstock. It's a little easier to see than me holding up. You have this beautiful large kind of branch with cherry blossoms and some leaves, even some buds. And then you have a smaller flower here and a single flower not attached to a stem or anything, which is nice for kind of creating backgrounds, building your backgrounds. I would love to use that for a background. And then what I love a lot about the set is the sentiments. I love the font, and I love what they say. We have hello, sending blooms of gratitude, wishing you a garden of happiness, thanks for your kindness, much appreciated. I love this one. Let each petal inspire your journey, and happy birthday. So a really useful set. So a lot of sentiments are covered there. Some thank yous, a happy birthday, hello. So a really wonderful set. Really pretty. And then there are 10 coordinating frame cuts included as well. Yeah, they're really great sentiments. Yes, you have to pull out your watercolor pencils. Absolutely. And in fact, our design team did a lot. Well, Jennifer did some coloring with her, I believe her Copics, and then her colored pencils for added texture. And I love that technique. I can't wait to show you her cards. Oh, I forgot to show you cards for well, I get so excited I forget steps. We're almost done with the premium, and then I'll show you all the samples for the kits. So here are the frame cuts, those 10 frame cuts. As you can see, there's a large die here for that large floral bouquet or floral branch. And I'm going to try, they're not cut yet, but I'm going to try my best to point out that this die was really well designed. There's little cuts here for between the negatives in like these branches here on the branch or the flowers between them. And that just ends up, even one, I think it's up here, there's even, it just makes for a lacier cut, die cut, and just really, really ends up being a really pretty and polished look. So I love that. And I always try to point that out when I notice the die has that, because it really makes a big difference. And then not only do you have dies for the large branch, but the flowers, both of the flowers, but also all the sentiments. So yay, another die for all the sentiments. Yes, that's right, Vicki. I always forget to point that out. You're right. Vicki's really smart to point out that the dies for the sentiments are very tight, which again makes it easier for your card designing, because sometimes you might notice sometimes other companies, they'll have a really big space, like a white border around your sentiment, and Hero Arts does it really nice and tight. I don't know if you can see there, like with that much appreciated. It's very close to the edge, still leaving a nice border, but not too much that it feels off. It matches the same kind of border that's left on your flowers and everything, so it seems very cohesive. Hero Arts does a very good job with that. And then lastly, you have some translucent pink Hero Hues enamel dots. These are actually brand new. These just came out with our spring catalog release. We had enamel dots before, but they were all opaque. We now have translucent ones, and this is one of our new ones. This is the pinks, and I love this array of colors. Oop, this one's got a little boo-boo. It's like a bonus. But you have like a darker shade, almost kind of wine-like, a really bright like bubblegum pink, and then you have kind of like a cotton candy lighter pink. So really pretty. I obviously would work really nicely with these cherry blossoms. I could almost see them in the center or in a background. If you made a background with this flower and use these enamel dots to kind of fill in some of that space, that would be really pretty. Hi, Michelle. All right, and so that is everything from the premium and the classic kits. So let's now look at some samples, and let me put these I'm going to try to stay organized a little bit. All right, let's look at some of the cards created with the classic kit. First is this beautiful card that Jennifer made. I love how she used that cover plate die. You could see that kind of lattice background that it cuts. And I'm going to try to hold up so you can see some of the texture. The texture is light, but I can definitely see it in person. There's the texture from the rest of the die around that matches the same kind of pattern that this lattice kind of cut makes. And then she finished it with these bamboo, just stamped on like in blue, probably actually I know exactly what ink she used. She used that deep blue, deep ocean, sorry, that's included in the kit. So really pretty. Blended background with the cherry, stamped sentiment in the cherry. Look at how nicely that coordinating die cuts out that sentiment. And a little dragonfly. So pretty, nice and simple, but really gorgeous. This would be a fun one to just change the palette with if you wanted to. Do an ombre, try green. There's a lot of fun things you could do just to take this really gorgeous design and change it, try it with different combos. That's something I love to do. I love to try different color combos. Yes, the red and blue, so pretty, very striking. And then here you can see she used that clear stamp set and actually created this background. She layered that periwinkle for the base, and then on top did that deep ocean. She did a blended background with the periwinkle, stamped her additional images, the bamboo, the crane, and the sentiment with that periwinkle. Again, look at how nicely that die cuts out around the sentiment. Oops, gosh. I'm so gestural with my hands. I bumped the camera, but it just looks so good, so clean, so professional. Love it. Really, really pretty. And then we have this stunning card by Jennifer. Again, she created this background. Love that red cherry sun reflection in her water. And look at her scene. She's got so many elements. She has the gate, a boat here, our guy rowing here, the cattails, so much interest, and then the beautiful crane up in the sky. And I love her. Enjoy the journey. So nice. And I don't know if you can see, but she dry embossed with that cover plate die. And there's actually this beautiful texture behind the sun. And it's such a nice detail. I love that idea. It's brilliant. And of course, there's a die for the sun. So that makes it really easy, again, for designing your cards. So you can actually die cut that sun out. You can have it whatever color you want. You can have a really dark background and a yellow moon if you wanted to. It's just great. Really, really clever. And then here's a card that I created. I used a different palette. And that's another fun thing you can do with this set is use a totally different palette. Made a what I did is I looked online and looked at kind of Japanese silk screens or Japanese landscapes, and I got she's brilliant, Michelle. She's so clever. Looked at their color palettes because this is definitely not a color palette I would have thought of myself. I'm not that creative. But I love these browns and kind of grays. I love the way they look. And I also did the sun in cherry and did a reflection here in the water. And you can see I heat embossed the sentiment from that set, die cut it out with the coordinating die. Love that. Again, looks so good, so professional. And here I use the transfers on the sides for some additional, and this is actually pretty much a one-layer card, except for the sentiment being popped up a little bit, and the fact that I did trim off the side. I like doing that. You'll probably notice, actually, I have another set of cards that I do that I cut this little side off. It's kind of a older school card design, but I still love it. I love the way it looks. And so I just trimmed that off so it has a little bit of interest, kind of frames it a little bit more. But really, really fun. Yeah, I love that one. I know I would never have thought of using those colors either, and I really like the way it looks. I did do a little bit of ink blending. I'm actually thinking about doing this card for the make-along. So I will probably walk through this whole process with you guys if you catch our make-alongs. We do our make-alongs the Sunday before the release. Releases are always on Monday, pretty much, unless there's like a holiday or something. So that's probably the card I'm going to do. So you kind of know that in advance. If you want to attend that, you can make this along with me. And then here's the card that I did for a video yesterday. It is an easel card. This uses the same colors that were included in the kit, just like what Jen was using. But I did do a little bit of ink blending and incorporated, I think, like a couple more colors, like one more darker blue here at the bottom, just to kind of amp up that contrast and create a better gradation. A lighter blue here to blend in the mountains a little bit. And then, of course, some different colors, just two different inks for the background to add to just create a blend back there as well. But yeah, this is a fun card, really easy to do. Great design for, I can't show you, unfortunately, because of the way the camera is, but it's a great design for your landscapes because it kind of displays nicely with the little dimension. It kind of pops up. You have a little bit of dimension. But again, if you want to know how to make this card, I did do a video on Hero Art's YouTube channel. So right where you are, well, could be where you are right now if you're on her YouTube. So you can check that out after the live if you want to see how that card was created. A lot of it, and again, I try to use a lot that's in the kit. So a lot of the colors, just a few additional colors, but most of the inks were included in the kit for that card. So those were cards created with just the supplies in the classic kit. Now I'm going to show you some cards that were created with some of the additional items that were in the premium kit. First up, we'll start with this stunning card that Jen made. And here you can see this is what I was talking about, where she did her Copic coloring, which she's so good. She's really, really good Copic coloring. And then she did a little bit of coloring with some colored pencils to add texture on these cherry blossoms. This card is stunning. I love it so much. She really made such a beautiful card. And a little bit of white gel pen for the stamen and some highlights on the leaves. Just beautiful, so pretty. And then I love this one where she used, I think this is brilliant. Again, she used the cover plate die cut out of cardstock, I believe, and then used it as a stencil, essentially. Ink blended over it and created a beautiful background. Isn't that pretty? And such a great way to kind of be your focal point, be your background, to kind of cut down your white space. This is always a great technique for kind of grounding your focal image a little bit, and also kind of making it not feel like you have all this white space. You're grounding it a little bit more. Yeah, it's really pretty. And she has another one of her beautifully colored flowers and a sentiment from that cherry blossom stamp set. Love this one. She actually die cut with that cover plate for a background, did her beautiful coloring with those cherry blossoms and a sentiment. Really beautiful, clean and simple. Love it. And then this stunning one, she went all out. Look at how gorgeous. She ink blended this background, probably with the cherry ink included in the kit, used a lot of the transfers to fill it in. I mean, this whole background is basically built from the simple ink blend, the transfers, adding tons of interest, and then she filled in some of the space with those pink translucent enamel dots. So clever. It is stunning. This is such a stunning card. And again, some more of her beautiful coloring. This one is a little bit different. It looks like she used watercolor pencils, would be my guess, that she did on this card. So really, really pretty. She's so talented. All right, so that was both all the samples I have for the classic and the premium March kits. Now we're going to move on to the add-ons. Let me grab my add-on stack here. Trying not to let it tip over. And we need some white cardstock again. First up is this Crane Wishes stamp set. And again, if you're new to Hero Arts stamp sets, we sell the clear. You can get the clear stamp set by itself, but you cannot get the dies by themselves. So if you want the coordinating dies, you have to get both together. So if you're one of those people who think you might want to get it later, I would encourage you to get the dies and the stamp together, because you won't be able to find the dies ever by themselves. So this is again, the Crane Wishes. Look at this big, beautiful crane image. Isn't it so pretty? I have my little grid here to kind of show you
how it fills an A2. This is an A2 size grid. You can see it fills the card like almost completely. It's so big. It's a really big focal image. So it can be used all by itself. But there's additional images. You have a branch. I love the way this branch looks. Kind of a sun, or it could be just a detail for the background. I think this is so pretty. Can you imagine like putting one of those pink enamel dots inside? That'd be pretty. And you make a whole background just by repeat stamping this and maybe gold heat embossed and the enamel dot inside. So pretty. This could be a flower that you add to the branch. Or again, I think one of our designers actually used it on with another die from this release. So that was really clever. And then again, there's a bunch of really great sentiments. We have thank you, expressing a wingspan of gratitude, so like a thank you. The wind beneath my wings could also be a thank you. Wishing you endless joy and success, so kind of a congratulations. Good luck on your new journey, also like a congratulations. And then we open it up to see the transfers, or I'm sorry, the dies. There's a die for all the images. You can see the large crane, the flower, the branch, and all the sentiments. Again, dies for the sentiments. We love that. It makes it so much easier for our card designing. Really, really, really pretty set. Let me show you some cards with that. Actually, I'll show you mine because that's the only ones I have. Here's a card I create. Well, I have pictures to show you for the other ones. But here is a card I created with that crane set. I did a simple blended background, used one of our pointed arches dies. This came out in our spring catalog release, this die, and used that branch a couple of times, just kind of fill in the space. Again, kind of was inspired. What I noticed about Japanese silk screens or Japanese landscapes is they all have lots of gradations. So I did try to incorporate a lot of gradations into my cards this time, though not hard for me to do because I love gradations. And there's some simple Copic coloring. The nice thing about the crane is that it can be mostly white. So even though it's a big image, there's actually not a lot of coloring. I just did a little bit. In fact, like most of this, like the neck here, is just the white of the paper. This part of the wing here, the white of the paper. I didn't color everything. I left some of it the white of the paper. So that's nice. Saves you a little bit on coloring. Now I'm going to show on screen some cards that were created by the creative team. Let's grab them. Where are they? Here they are. First is this one by Dana. Look at how beautiful that is. I love how she incorporated the cherry blossom die, which I haven't shown you yet. Really, really brilliant. But look at her coloring too. Her coloring is stunning on that crane. So good. And I love she kind of took a different approach where she colored the crane and made the background kind of white, which I think is so clever and unexpected. And look at her flowers. They're so pretty. Those flowers are also from this crane set. And let's see what else I have here. Oh, and this beautiful one by Rachel. Excuse me. She colored her crane blue. Isn't that pretty? I love this, the bird in these blue tones. So pretty. And she has a blue background. Also used the flowers with that cherry blossom die. And really, really gorgeous card. Love her coloring on that crane. She said she has a tattoo, I think, that matches that crane. So I thought that was really cool. And then we have this one by Sika. Is this one Sika? Yes, Sika. I had to double check. Really pretty. Here she did kind of that more simplistic kind of coloring or palette. Her coloring's amazing. She just kind of reduced her palette so she didn't have less to color. Like she only colored a portion of the wings and the neck with those gray tones and kind of blacks for the legs, and then a little bit of red for the head. So really simple, and it looks absolutely stunning, like gorgeous. And she paired with that ink blended background, again, that cherry blossom kind of die, which we will get to. A lot of cards with that. But aren't they stunning? They did such a good job. I am blown away every time. The ideas that they come up with are so creative. All right, let's hide this. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so moving on. We have another clear stamp set. This is ramen. Kind of obvious, right? This is a really fun and creative stamp set. I love kind of the action here. A lot of times you'll see like food sets. I don't know why this has got so bumpy. I feel like I must have crushed it or something. Package is a little bumpy. I must have done something. But I love how the, a lot of times you'll see food sets where they're just kind of like a bowl of food or a plate of food or the food all by itself. But this one has like chopsticks in the air, pulling the noodles. It really has some motion and energy. I love that. It's so fun. And the design team got so creative with their sentiments. Look at the L for hello, they're noodles. That's so cute. And also the oodles, they're kind of like noodles. I thought that was so creative and fun. So let's look at the sentiments since I'm pointing them out. We have hello, hey there, hot stuff. I love that one. I love you more than. That's so cool that it has this little, very vertical kind of sentiment. Wishing you oodles of fun on your birthday. So great. This says ramen. I looked that up. And have a super day. So a really great, fun, creative set. And there's also dies for the set as well. Oh, and I forgot to point out, like, there's some other images. I don't think this is technically sushi. I'm not sure. I know that is a rice cake. I know that much. Or a rice patty, or not rice, fish cake. Fish cake. That's a fish cake. I know that much. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I don't think it's sushi because it doesn't have fish, but please correct me if you know. But let's point out the dies. There's dies for the ramen, the fish cake, that sushi-like food image over there, even for our ramen here. So all the sentiments have dies. That's awesome. Makes it so easy again for designing. Let me show you a couple cards with this ramen set. Let's leave it out. So we have this card that I created. I got a hair here. There we go. I use that bowl of ramen as my focal image, and you can maybe see here in the light that I actually added some more. Been on a little bit of a clear lacquer pen trend. I did it for our make along on Sunday, and now I'm doing it again here for the noodles. But how can I resist? It makes these noodles look so glossy and fun. I just wish, and maybe I'll do it later. I wish I added it to the egg yolks as well. Wouldn't that be fun if they're a little bit more domed and shiny? I think I have to do that. I paired it with this like ink blended red sentiment strip that says ramen. And then I have a super day. So really fun and simple little sand background, but a fun card. This is for my daughter who loves ramen. She would eat ramen every day if she was allowed to. She's over here on the sides going, yes, yes, yes. She loves it. But I have one daughter who doesn't. Isn't that funny? I thought all kids liked ramen, right? But guess not. Let me show you some more from the creative team. Pulling it up here. I have this really awesome card by Pam. Here you go. Look at that. I love how she paired it with a super cool textured background. I think that's cardboard or maybe some kind of textured paper, but it basically looks like corrugated cardboard, but it's gold, guys. It's shiny. It's beautiful. And I really, really like how she colored her bowl black. It makes everything inside just really pop. That contrast is awesome. Oops. Oh, I bumped my camera, but luckily it didn't matter. I'm so gestural with my hands. And she used the hey there hot stuff, which I think is so funny. So this card is so good. I love it. I think she just knocked it out of the park. All right. Moving on. I know that background is so cool, right, Kathy? I always forget about like cool textured papers, right? But like that's a whole and it works so well with that ramen. I think it almost, I don't know, there's something noodly about that corrugated cardboard. Okay, and now we're going to go to the cherry blossom cover plate. You've seen it several times already on the cards. There we go. I'm trying to not get that glare from my lights. It is a beautiful A2 cover plate die. I'm going to hold it up here. it will cut like a little border if you place it over an A2 card. And you've seen it with a bunch of the samples. I'll probably pop up Dana's sample again because it's so good. Yeah, it really is really helpful to see them with the stamps, right? But here's the card I created with that cherry. I would make sure I get the name right. Cherry Blossom cover plate. I kept it really simple, but our creative team made a bunch of different cards for you to show. So they not only like paired it with the crane that you've seen already, but I have a bunch of samples where they just had it all on its own. So this is definitely a strong, very useful die. I can see it being used for spring completely, you know, away from this kind of theme of this release. It can be used for a lot of purposes. I think this is a almost like a must-have. It's just a really handy die, really pretty. And it could be used like this way or this way. I mean, there's no like one way to use it. Here you can see the frame that it will cut if you place it on an A2 card base. I just kept it simple. I'd use some of our hero sprays, some of the ones with the metallic, you know, powder in there. So you have that interesting, you know, that pretty shine and shimmer. I did a tiny bit of Copic coloring, like the teeniest, weeniest bit ever, just to add a little bit of color here and there to the flowers. I didn't even color the branches at all. And then I used our hero pearls and just added these gold centers to all the flowers. There you go. Holding it up too close, it can't focus, but really, really fun. And this sentiment is again from that Crane set, Crane Wishes set. Okay, let's look at some cards from our team. Pop over here. Let's pull up Mindy's first. Look at her beautiful card. So she did some really stunning Copic coloring. Colored those branches, made such a great gradation on them. I love the way that looks. She used another sentiment from that Crane set and just a simple pink ombre background, but it's stunning. So, so, so pretty. And let's see this one here. Gorgeous. I love the dark background that she used on this one. So pretty. And look at her flowers. She has like light pink and darker pink flowers. Normally when I color flowers, I don't know about you guys, but I always like color them like all the same, right? Like if it's one kind of flower, like a rose or something, I'm going to color all my roses the same. I think this is so clever to color some of them lighter pink, some of them darker pink. It just adds so much more interest. I am definitely storing that idea in my crafty toolbox because I think that's brilliant. And then she paired with that dark background, which actually is stamped with a bold prints stamp from this release. But isn't it stunning? That green, that dark green and pink. So, so pretty. And I'll show you real quick one more time just because I want to point out what Dana did. This card that Dana did, I think she did a Jennifer McGuire technique where she actually kind of stamped, I know maybe not stamped is the right way to say this, but you apply embossing ink to the die, run it through your die cutting machine with a rubber mat so it doesn't actually cut, but it embosses. But because you put embossing ink on the die, then you will pour embossing powder over, and the embossing powder will stick to all those lines, those depressed lines from the die, and then you wipe it away and it actually makes like almost like a stamp, but it's also impressed with embossing powder, and you heat set it. Gosh, I'm doing a terrible job explaining it. I'm so sorry, but definitely go check out Jennifer's video on that technique. I think she shared it not too long ago, so I think that's what Dana did, but regardless, it's stunning. She definitely used the die creatively. I know that for sure, and I think she's just brilliant. So and I think that's all. Let's see, is there any other ones? I mean, you've seen a lot already shared. So yeah, I think that's all with that beautiful cherry blossom. I'll pop over here. Oh, Michelle, thank you. It's kind of a better press. Yes, embossing hybrid technique. Yes, Michelle, thank you. That's probably a better way to describe it. It's so cool. And again, I think that what's brilliant about this card is that it's that contrast where she actually, my approach to it was to not color the bird, but she went and colored the bird and kind of not colored the background. And I think that's such a creative take with these products because I would not have thought of that. And as you can see on my card, I did not think of that. I went color, color, color. All right, let's remove her thing. Sorry, I'm a little slow. A little slow. All right. Okay, moving on. We have another die. Gosh, they're all winners, you guys. I love everything. I'm so excited to show you this one. This is the Bonsai fancy die. Look at that cute little bonsai tree. Yeah, this beautiful bonsai tree. I love the way it looks. It's actually pretty big. Where's my A2? You know, I've been so clean, but I've lost something. Oh, here it is. So here's my A2. Sorry, it's kind of dirty, but you can see it fills. It easily could be the focal point for your card. It's pretty big, and you not only do you have the little tree, you have these cute little flowers. I love them. They have little details on them too. And then the little pot that you can put your tree in. I love how it's detached. Just makes it easier to use different colors. I love this little guy. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that, Vicky. The treetops could be stylized clouds. Absolutely. That's a brilliant. I didn't even think of that, but totally could be. And let me show you my card. So I did some ink blending. I actually die cut this whole thing out of just white cardstock. Just used a little bit. You could totally do basically paper piecing if you want to instead, but I just masked a little bit with some tape. I thought it was really easy to do, and ink blended the leaves or the tops of the tree in greens. Ink blended down here. I think I may have done, actually I Copic colored this. That's what I did. I Copic colored, I didn't like a combo. Copic colored the what do you call those? Branches? Trunk? There you go. Ink blended the little pot, and again, kept the flowers white and just added a gold hero, use a little bit of hero pearl for the center. The background is created again, which you've seen a couple of times, the bold print. That's the last kind of stamp that we have to share. Stamped in Deep Ocean, actually, the ink that's included in the kit, onto some Hero Arts colored cardstock. I forgot the name of this colored cardstock. I forgot. Park. Thank you, Vicky. I'm telling you, sometimes words do not come to my brain. And let's look at the sentiment, though, is actually from the spring, a stamp set from the spring catalog release. It is the I Appreciate You stamp. And I just love the sentiments in that set, so I'm probably going to be using them over and over and over again. Such a great set. Let's look at some of the, where are they? Here they are. Let's share. I have a card from the creative team. This one's by Rosie, and I thought it was so pretty. She did 3 flowers. I think she did a better job ink blending her. I like her color choices better on her bonsai tree. And I like her background as well. I think this was so pretty. I think she ink blended, but it's, oh, and she added a little pink, guys. She added a little pink to her flowers, and she used those pink transparent enamel dots for the centers. And I love that, especially paired with that pink background. So, so pretty. So this is such a great, and you know what, guys? We don't have any samples this time, but I think, let me put this away. Plum. Thank you, Michelle. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is, Michelle. I think that I used was plum. This was plum. Hard to tell. It's basically like this color, but you can kind of see it in the open spaces. But what I was going to say real quick is that none of the samples, all the samples, mine and Rosie's, we both did the tree in green. But I think you could do this in fall colors, right? Have you ever seen those bonsai trees that actually have like leaves that change color, or they have like, they're just naturally like purple leaves? Wouldn't that be fun to see this tree in like different colors? I think that'd be really, really neat. So love that one. And now we're going to move on to the bold prints. This is, I always forget the name, Origami Paper Bold Prints stamp set. I am going to pull it out of here because, though I'm not sure if it's going to make much of a difference. That glare is pretty glaring. Helps. That's a little bit. I'm going to do it over here. Look at how beautiful. So, so pretty. So it's going to stamp, cover most of your background in whatever ink you use. So this is pretty much a solid stamp except for the little openings, the little details that you see, the cranes, some flowers, these like swirly, dotty details. So pretty, really unique. I've never seen anything quite like this. I think it's really pretty. And you saw it on, got my card, my bonsai card. You can see it here in the background. This would be a great, I just stamped this in one color ink and stamped it on the background. But I think this would, because it's so solid, this would be great for ombre inking or multi-inking. So you get that kind of gradation look. Would be great with that. Yeah, the solid ones are so fun, aren't they? There's so many techniques you can do with them. And they're a surprise because you're making a dark background. So sometimes, I don't know, with card making, we get so used to like lighter backgrounds. And let's see here. I think I have a really great, I'm trying to remember my photos. I have a really great sample here from Lydia. Let's pull that up. She was so clever. Let's see. Where'd it go? Here it is. Look at that. So she stamped it onto some paper in her whatever ink she was using. And then she folded it up to make these little origami. They look like little owls or Furbies. I'm sure they're not Furbies, but they look like Furbies to me. And I think they're so cute. And their little eyes, they're adorable. What a fun idea, right? Leah's a genius. She's brilliant. We all bow to her. Gold star. So, so cute. I know, they're so great. All right, and then there's one last thing. Transfers. We have some transfers that came out with this release. Look at these. They are the Origami Cranes Hero Transfers. Beautiful palette, so fresh and like rainbowy. I love it. So you have these big origami cranes. Love the shadowing. You know, they just look really dimensional. We even have these tinier ones. How cute are those? And then these very linear, like sketched almost cranes that would be fun to add. And then there's hearts. So such a great set. I love it. And obviously pairs so well with all the things that came out in this March release. I have a couple cards to share that I created with those. I stamped these backgrounds in mist ink on with that origami paper. Is that what it's called? I always forget. Origami paper. I didn't forget. Origami paper bold prints stamp, and then used the transfers here to kind of go right on top, and they transfer beautifully over that light ink. But you guys, I have tricks for transfers on darker inks, which are coming soon. There's some really neat techniques you can do with them. And then the sentiments are from that Crane Wishes stamp set, which obviously work really well with these cranes because they talk about wings. So wind beneath my wings, expressing a wingspan of gratitude. They work so well together, right? So cute. So really fun. These are so easy to make too. Done in a flash. Love them. All right, that's everything. I'm going to go over all the products real quick one last time. Let me grab them all. We have, I did not do a good job of putting them back in order. We'll start with last, which was the Origami Cranes transfers. Oh, and there's 2 sheets in here. There's 2 whole sheets in here. So a lot of transfers. A ton of cards could be made with this. Like just this one sheet, I could easily see, especially if you're making cards like what I did here. You could make easily 4, maybe 5 cards just with those larger cranes. Easy. And then we have the Origami paper bold prints. Beautiful. These are 6x6 too, if you guys don't know. They're larger. They're easily cover your A2 card base. Easily stamp over the whole thing. Then we have the Bonsai fancy die. The cherry blossom cover plate. The Ramen bundle. So the bundle, you can also get the Ramen stamp set by itself. And again, all those dies for everything, all the images and the sentiments. So great. And last but not least, this gorgeous Crane Wishes bundle. Again, you can get the stamp set by itself if you choose to. Gorgeous image. Let's put that white cardstock underneath one last time because it's so pretty. Such tons of detail. Love that branch too. Every time I see that branch, I get excited because it's just so perfect. And again, there's dies for all the images as well as all the sentiments. So that is everything from this release, except for the kit, which is a mess over here onto the side. I cannot pull it out. I know that crane is so good. I'm going to pull the camera back over to my
unmute. All right, guys, that is, look at the hair popping up. That is everything from the March release. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of spotlight look at all those products, as well as all the samples that the creative team created that I shared. They really did such a great job. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your what is today? Wednesday. Normally it's Tuesday. I will be doing these on Tuesday from now on. I got all mixed up this month because I accidentally looked at last month, and last month's Tuesday was the 6th, or whatever. So we'll do these reviews or walkthroughs of the release on the Tuesday after the release. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Oh, is it Thursday for you? Whoa, that blows my mind, Michelle. That blows my mind. I can't believe that. Oh, because today's Wednesday. That's right. Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again soon.